Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're exploring a deeply fascinating philosophy that kind of completely flips our understanding of what strength actually is. We usually think of power as loud, dominant, and right in your face. But what if true power is actually perfectly silent? What if the most unshakable people in the world are the ones who barely say a word? Well, let's unpack the profound mechanics of cultivating inner silence.
Okay, let's dive into this. I want you to take a second and really viscerally reflect on something. What happens to your body and your mind the exact moment someone insults you or disrespects you? Does your chest tighten up? Does a fire suddenly flare up in your gut? Do you instantly feel that overwhelming urge to snap back? Well, if that fire ignites, this philosophy argues that you've just handed over your control. Which brings us to Section 1, the myth of weakness. Society loves to tell us the quiet person is weak, but we're going to see how that's completely backwards. So, when someone provokes us, the noisy reactor instantly flares up, right? Heart racing, frantically throwing words around, totally consumed by the chaos of the moment. But there's this incredible anecdote from the source material about an old man and a furious young guy. The younger guy comes to the elder, absolutely enraged because someone insulted him in the market. The old man just looks at him and asks, "When did you feel bad?" The youth says, "When he cursed at me." And the old man simply replies, "If their words hurt you, they are your master." Think about that. Getting angry simply hands your emotional remote control over to someone else. They push a button, and you react. And this brilliantly illustrates the critical difference between a reaction and a response. Look, a reaction is immediate. It's a total reflex, purely emotional and happens completely without thought. A response, on the other hand, is delayed. It's thoughtful. It's rooted in understanding and comes from a place of deep stability. The person who responds rather than reacts is the one who actually remains the master of their own mind. Moving on to Section 2, the energy of reaction. Because constantly reacting doesn't just make you emotional, it literally drains your life force. There is a massive, hidden cost to reacting to every little provocation, every annoying comment, and every minor inconvenience. A highly reactive person burns through their energy on totally useless drama. To put it into perspective, imagine spending 40% of your mental energy on anger, another 40% on those imaginary arguments in your head we all do, and 15% on worry. That leaves a measly 5% for your actual life goals? No way. Meanwhile, the silent person, the one who doesn't engage in those petty battles, conserves 100% of their power. They stockpile that energy for when it actually matters. Now, what's really interesting here is the profound metaphor of water. Think about it. You throw a stone into a pond, and yeah, it's disturbed for a moment, ripples form, but very quickly it goes right back to perfect calm. You can yell at water, you can insult it, but it simply returns to stillness. Yet when focused, that exact same calm water is powerful enough to carve straight through solid rock. Silence accepts those temporary ripples, but maintains a profound, rock-cutting stillness. Here we are at Section 3, the power of the pause. This is where we see that true inner silence isn't passive at all, it's a highly active choice. It literally all comes down to the monumental power of the number 1. Just a 1-second pause before speaking. When anger hits, that single second is exactly where your freedom lives. Taking just 1 second before you snap back is enough to save relationships, prevent those devastatingly bad decisions we make in blinding anger, and keep you from saying things you are going to regret forever. You become the master of your anger instead of letting it master you. In the source material, this is described using a really beautiful concept called drashtabhav, or the observer mindset. It's like you're sitting on the bank of a river, and the river is life. You can watch the waves, you can see a stone fall in, you can watch a fish jump out, but you don't jump into the water yourself. You stay safely on the bank, observing the drama without actually drowning in it. Let's move to Section 4, daily habits for beginners. Because you don't just wake up as Zen master. Inner silence is a muscle, and we have to train it. So, here are the small, highly actionable steps to build that muscle every day. Step 1, start by intentionally ignoring small teasing from others. Just let it slide. Step 2, simply walk away from useless arguments that just don't matter. Like fighting with a stranger on the internet over the absolute correct way to load a dishwasher. Actually, scratch that, any internet argument. And step 3,
Relentlessly practice that 1-second pause we just talked about. You see, you build this impenetrable shield of inner silence through small, repeated victories over minor provocations. It is all about winning those tiny battles. Next is section 5, the art of saying no. Because silence also means knowing exactly when to shut down demands on your time and energy. Constantly over-explaining yourself or feeling like you have to defensively justify your choices to everyone is actually a sign of weakness, and it invites others to try and control you. So how do you say no? Well, you be clear and direct. You do not over-explain, and you absolutely do not apologize for your boundaries. A simple, firm no is a complete and incredibly powerful sentence. It saves your energy and preserves your peace. Now, you might be wondering, what about when someone genuinely wrongs you? The source offers a really fascinating distinction between forgiving and forgetting. Forgive? Absolutely, for sure. But do it to drop the heavy burden of resentment so you can preserve your own internal peace. However, do not forget. You remember so you don't give that person a second chance to disturb your hard-earned silence. It is not cruelty. It is deep, protective wisdom. Bringing us to section 6, becoming the deep lake. This is what happens when you compound these daily habits and undergo a real transformation. You stop being a shallow puddle that gets disturbed by every passing footstep, and you become a deep, unshakable lake. And the philosophy notes that this internal shift actually manifests physically. A truly silent person walks with a steady, unhurried pace. Their breathing is deep and rhythmic. Their posture is confident, and they develop these piercing, unreadable eyes. When a person with this level of cultivated inner silence walks into a room, their presence alone shifts the energy. They command absolute respect without needing to speak a single word. So, the crucial point is what the source calls the mystery advantage. The most unreadable person is also the most uncontrollable person, right? If you're constantly oversharing and reacting, people know exactly how to manipulate you. But by keeping your thoughts, your emotions, and your needs protected, you become a mystery, and people will hesitate 100 times before they mess with a mystery. We're going to end with this really profound thought from the source. The most silent person is not the one who has never seen pain, but the one who has survived the fire. Inner silence isn't the absence of hardship, it's the result of it. Your past struggles were actually the forge that created this new, unbreakable inner strength. So, the next time the world tries to provoke you, will you hand over your power, or will you choose the unbreakable strength of silence?